Hey everybody, That Brown Bat back once again for another episode of Santa Claus Comes to Town. And he got hit by Frosty the Snowman riding Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. What? I have no idea what I'm talking about. No, we are back with Bat in the Box, Utapau, Let's Build. And yeah. building. It is our giant ant farm. It is the dirt version of Coruscant, condensed into a small package. So again, we're using the trigger areas to use the break the barrier trick, so we can fill everything in there with the corner bridges in the blocks. So it's, you got to do that in all four corners. This is not the only way to do this, but at the time I did this, it was the best way I could think. And when this is finished, the finished part, when you finally see it, it looks pretty cool. Does it look identical to source material? No, but it's one of those things where you don't mind. It's one of those things where it could be on the same planet. I mean, it's just, I don't know, it just looks really cool when it's done. I did max the toy box out again. No, when we're done, somehow I gotta stop doing that, but whatever. Well, at least I can fit more enemies in there than just two, because we have to have General Grievous in there. I have Arlo the Dinosaur and a bunch of clone troopers. And I'll tell you what, though, not clone troopers. Yeah, clone troopers and Magna Guards. Now, dealing with Magna Guards, they take up more space than some of the other enemies. So I don't put a lot of Magna Guards in there. I mean, you can keep them respawning, which I did. But to have them on there at once, I'd say use two, because Magna Guards, and I think the Droidicas do as well. I'm not sure, but I think the Magna Guards, though, take up more space. I guess a response to one of the questions that I've seen more than once. Where's Hoth? I have a Let's Build of Hoth. If you're asking where the rest of the episodes are, well, you're not the only one that, I don't know who you are, but you just gotta be considerate. I'm trying to do these Let's Builds to please everybody, you know? Because not everybody likes Hoth. Not everybody likes Utapau. Not everybody likes the Death Star. Everybody likes Starkiller Base. But, you know, so I try to divvy these up. Jabba's Palace. I got to do the Cantina, which I haven't started yet. I have to do Geonosis, which I haven't started yet. I have to do Mustafar, which I haven't started yet. Cloud City, finally, the Carbon Freeze Chamber's done, but I got to do the rest of... I got to do the Palace somehow. I have no idea how I'm going to do that, because the arch blocks don't match the arch blocks that are in the Administrator's Palace. I got to do the exterior, which is going to be a challenge because the Tomorrowland buildings look like Fisher-Price to me. They do. They look like Fisher-Price. No. Let's see. What else do I got to do? Dakar, Takodana. You know, so we have enough to keep us going for ever. Some of the stuff will be easy. Some of it will be difficult. Kashyyyk, whatever part of the universe you're from, I guess it will determine how you pronounce it. I'm from the Outer Rim, so we call it Kashyyyk. Nah. The trees. One of the Wookiee Warish trees, however you pronounce it, right? And I know the Wookiees don't pronounce it like that because they were like... That's more like a tauntaun, right? Those world trees, some of them can take, I think it was almost like a month to walk around it by foot. Some of them, they get that big. And they build their cities in the tree. So it's like Coruscant out of wood. So how are we going to do that? I don't know. So we can do the trees. See, Endor has tall trees, but Kashyyyk, again, pronunciation. The trees dwarf Endor. They make Endor look tiny. So how are we going to do that? I do not... I'll tell you this. One of those trees... Not one of them. The tree house maker, right? I've made toy boxes with just all tree house. If you use the treehouse toy maker, it will put branches in places that should not ever exist. So you have to do it piece by piece. And I've done it once a long time ago, and I didn't like it. So that I really don't want to do the Wookiee homeworld. I will eventually, probably. Right here, because there's a city in these, right? And I said this before, if they made the Tatooine pieces customizable, that would have been across the board for pretty much every planet. And I wish they would have done that. You could use those Tatooine pieces for anything as long as you could recolor them, but you can't recolor them. You could use the diffusionator to paint them, but once you save the game and reload it, it's gonna the paint won't stay. So it's all dusty, so it looks more like I want to say underwater city, more like the Gungan city, I would say, from the artist's rendition. So I decided to use Tomorrowland pieces. Well, don't get used to it because within, I don't know, 5 to 10 minutes, we're going to rip this out. I thought it was a good idea, and like I said, to me, it looks like Fisher Price. There's not enough texture to it. It's all... It looks like toys. And I know it's a toy box, but they made other things that look realistic, especially the stuff from the first 1.0, like the Monster University toys. That stuff looked really good, really does. And the stuff they gave us for Halloween Town actually looks really good, even though it's Tim Burton's wacky imagination. Yeah, that building I have to the far right reminds me of the Justice Hall, or what was it? The Hall of Justice. Meanwhile, at the Hall of Justice, Superman drinks coffee. Speaking of coffee, I'm going to have a swig right now. Keeps me going. Yeah, so it's pretty much I was trying to figure out, but what I end up doing is really cool. It is really cool. It's one of those things I just discovered on accident. What else? So going back to Hoth, yes, Hoth. I'll get back to Hoth. I will say the most recent one that I have recorded, there was a glitch with the audio video sync, so I gotta fix that before I do the audio, the commentary on it. What else? What else? Still got my book with me. The Star Wars Character Encyclopedia. And I found out that the power droids, the first time we've seen the power droids in any of the Star Wars material, I believe, was in A New Hope on Tatooine. And we heard them as they were walking around in the sandcrawler. Gonk, 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 whatever I was saying, right? Well, there's different ones, and I always wondered, wait, if that's a power droid, it doesn't look the same. Well, it's the same thing with cars and toasters and whatnot. You have different models. And in this case, you have different manufacturers. So the power droids, you have the EG series, made by Vero Line Systems. The GNK series, which is commonly known as the Gonk droids, made by the Industrial Automation and the gas-holding PLNK series, which were shown in the Clone Wars. Anyway, I always liked the droids. Some of the droid stories that they have in LEGO Force Awakens remind me of the droid cartoon episode called The Great Heap. And I really liked that. I really did. I think R2 found a girlfriend or something in that. Anyway, there was this giant garbage robot that was trying to take, or what was it? It was using the droids as slaves, and R2 set the droids free, and they took over the garbage heap. And they overthrew it. It's pretty cool. Yeah, see how that does not fit. It might work for other toys or whatnot, but it does not fit where we're at. So is this where I tear it apart? Probably not. I eventually do it, and then we make it better. I always liked the droids. And I wonder, and I've mentioned this before, and I found an answer, but it's not canon, right? The, the fact that R2-D2 in the prequels has, well, in Clone Wars, or in what is it? Attack of the Clones has jets. Oh, before I get into the jets, what I'm doing here, I was trying to figure out how to make the bone canopies, and I thought, oh, let's use railings, right? It doesn't work. Looks like a jungle gym. So we can't use it. I mean, you can use it, but it doesn't look right. So I'm getting rid of it. And we're not putting a canopy over it. Yeah, so I wanted to see what it looked like even though this isn't the Jedi Starfighter that he used in Episode 3, because they didn't give us that. They only gave us the one from Episode 2. But whatever. So the jets. How come he didn't have jets on his arms in New Hope? Or Empire Strikes Back, or Return of the Jedi. And I've seen on forums where people have said that, well, R2 just didn't seem to need him. That's why he didn't use him. That's a cop-out. I don't believe that for 1 second. That's a poor excuse. Very, very poor excuse for an explanation. So I heard another explanation, which says that they were discontinued and the lifespan of the jets reached its usefulness and they were never serviced. Because R2 is an old droid, which makes more sense. But I have not seen it approved in canon, so I don't know if it's speculation or not. Just like the Darth Plagueis. People say it's canon that he definitely was Sidious's master. When in episode 3, all he said was his apprentice killed him in his sleep. Of course, he wouldn't say it was him, right? But he said he knew his secrets, right? And then he said to Anakin, "The cheat death only one has been able to figure out, but we will achieve it together." Wait a minute, you just told him. Don't worry right there, that transition. I saved it. And I reloaded the game. Don't worry. Didn't cut anything out. Except the fact is the load screen, right? So now we're deleting this city. And making it better. So he said the cheat death one is only figured out, but if we work together, we'll figure it out. Whatever happened to that? They never figured it out. Was he lying that whole time? Or did he figure he didn't need to pursue it because he killed Padme? I don't know. And what's the mystery behind Padme's death? These are all questions that I've had since episode 3, right? Because the droid, or whatever that, I don't know if it's an alien or the droid, right? Seems that she has lost the will to live. And of course, Palpatine says, "It seems that you, in your anger, killed her." No! Okay, right here, we are putting the road in. And I needed some bone structure, so I had to get me Dinosaur terrain, which is funny. It's in the Marvel category, right? And the Marvel category for dinosaur terrain has to do with the Savage Lands. And I always thought that was odd because it didn't say Savage Lands, it says dinosaur terrain, but it was packaged in the group with the Marvel toys, right? And so the only one would be the Savage Lands. Savage Lands was, of course, they crossed over, but they had to do with X-Men and Magneto, Savage Lands, Sauron. There's some Spider-Man elements in it too. What's the guy's name? I forget the guy's name. But anyway, I thought it was odd because Marvel fans hear Savage Land and they think X-Men. And they never questioned it. Now it's too late. Nobody cares because, well, they fired everybody. Jerks. Not the people that got fired, the people that did the firing. I know I'm jumping topics here, but yeah, I'm trying to figure out, see if there's any decorations with bone besides the road, and there's not. We didn't even get our dragon bone from Tatooine, which we should have. It was in the Toy Box Hub. But you know, you go to work every day and bosses are telling you everything's going great, everything's going great, everything's going great. And then you get the memo, clean your stuff out, you guys are done. That totally is like, and I worked for a place where they would, they'd give people awards for employee of the month or employee of the quarter. And one such person got employee of the quarter, and no sooner he got it, they set him up and they suspended him. Like, you just made him employee of the quarter and you suspended him. No, he didn't do anything wrong. They were always looking, if something went wrong in a particular department, they had to have somebody get in trouble for it to make it look like they were doing their job. The bosses. Because corporate wanted to see action. And if you didn't reprimand an employee, that made it look like that you were at fault to them, which is complete baloney. Some of these road pieces can overlap and other ones can't. So that's what I'm trying to figure out. Which ones can I use? Which ones can I use? Some of them you can use a trigger area. That flat piece works because it's going in between two other pieces. That's the only reason. And sometimes you can only get a ramp to work if the ramp goes on top of another one. It's odd, but that's the way it is. So these aren't meant to travel with vehicles. It's just for show. How I would make an actual city with roads like this, I don't know. Because usually concept art that has cities like this is just that, concept art. It doesn't have any rhyme or reason to why what is where. So I had to delete those out in order to put the buildings in, which we're going to put in here shortly. We're going to use the black ones from Coruscant, and then we're going to put the roads back in, because those particular roads will go through other solid objects, just like the other things that we've seen before. Alright, now I have to back up. Try to back up like 5 different topics to find out what the rabbit trail was that got me to talking about my old job and people getting fired. Okay, that was... they had to do with Disney Infinity. But going back, R2-D2. The jets. So they expired. I can live with that. Oh, and then going to Palpatine. So I would like to know the canonical source that actually says, because Wikipedia says it is canon. StarWars.com doesn't even talk about it. I mean, it says exactly what was in the movie. That's it. It doesn't expound on it. So is it in a canon book, or is it assumed it's canon? I don't know. If just the way he said it was, with the way Palpatine was telling Anakin that it was a legend, and he knew about the legend, and he had that look on his face like it was him. But why did he say that he knew the secret? Because he taught him, and then afterwards he said, we'll have to figure it out together. What did you figure out? He didn't figure anything out. Nothing ever was said again. The most I get out of it is, and they said this is not going to happen, is in Dark Horse comics with the clones and the Zahn trilogy. The Emperor made clones of himself. That would be the only way that I can think of that he figured out how to cheat death. What did Plagueis do? Right? In order to cheat death, not cheat death, he said to keep all his loved ones alive. All right, right there. Why would, if Plagueis was a Dark Lord of the Sith, I've never heard anybody ask these questions, right? But if he's a Dark Lord of the Sith, why would he love somebody? Unless he was practicing the light side as well, as Snoke is trying to teach Kylo Ren. You have to use the light side and the dark side. Now, I'm not saying Snoke is Plagueis because it's already been stated that he's not. However, I remember a time prior to Batman, the Arkham Knight being released, everybody wanted to know, who is the Arkham Knight? He has to be somebody that we know. And Rocksteady Studios said, no, you don't know who he is because we just made him up. And everybody kept saying, you didn't just make him up, he is somebody. And they kept saying no. I'm like, man, leave these guys alone. They said they just made him up. And it turned out that the fans' speculation was 100% correct. And I'm there listening to Rocksteady. I'm like, man, people, shut up. Rocksteady said he's new. And it turns out it was Jason Todd. And that was so odd. Then it happened again. And I hope fans remember this, how this went down. That the fans were right all along. They were 100% right, and the studios, I'm not going to say they lied because you got to keep a secret. My parents did that to me. I don't consider it a lie. I consider it trying to keep it a surprise. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. People get upset. Oh, you lied to us. So if the fans are right and then they find out they're right, don't get mad. But it happened again after Arkham Knight with Doctor Who. Right? It was like it was a couple months later. Now I know not everybody's a Doctor Who fan, not everybody's a Batman fan, but I'm both, right? And Missy. Who's Missy? And immediately the fans said to Missy, it's female for master. It's short for mistress, which is female for master. And I'm thinking, no. Just because they said it wasn't. Stephen Moffat said no. That's not right. Right? So he said fans are wrong. Turns out fans were 100% right. So, that's all I'm saying about the matter. Is everything that I've liked, the fans have always been correct in their immediate speculation. Except for the kooky fans that say that, what's that guy's name there? I can't remember the actor's name, but he's going to be in episode 8, and they think that he's going to be Boba Fett. No. If they were going to put Boba Fett in the movie, they would get the dude that played Boba Fett. Or Jango Fett. Because they would. And if they couldn't get him, of course they would leave the mask on because he wasn't helmetless. But I don't think it's going to be Boba Fett. I can't remember the actor's name. Some people thought he was going to be Ezra. I don't know. I doubt it. But nothing said, who is this dude? apparently he knows the Force. But I doubt it's Ezra. I don't think that they're going to say that, oh, this Jedi has been alive for all these years and we didn't know it. I think that excuse has gotten to be old hat, and I don't think they're going to try to use that a lot. Which is probably one of the reasons why if Mace Windu does come back, it's going to be during the Clone Wars era, and it'll probably be something like they do in they've done in a lot of cartoons before. Hey, look, I'm alive! Next episode, I'm dead. Oh, funeral time, right? So I don't think they'll bring Mace back, even though it was a stupid way to die. Obi-Wan took a long fall in Revenge of the Sith on Utapau, right? He landed in the water, but still, long fall. Darth Maul, long fall. Cut in half, right? Cut in half. Alright, so you have Darth Maul severed at the waist. You have Mace Windu with a lost hand. Granted, he was shocked that Anakin was the one that cut his hand off. But it's Mace Windu, right? Let's see. Luke fell and used the Force to soften his landing in Cloud City. Did Luke fall again? I don't know. I can't remember. The Emperor had a long fall, but the Death Star blew up, so that fall might not have killed the Emperor, but the explosion did. See, what other falls were there? Yoda. Yoda fell clear from the top of the Senate room and bounced off some of the floating chairs. This, like I said, this is tricky, but at least it's documented video footage now. We're taking these pieces and curving it around in like a, what would you say, an arrow? It's more of a watch and learn. And listen to me ramble on about Star Wars. Hey. You like it and you know it. The best way to do any of the Let's builds is go from the ground up. Okay? Thing is, I can never do ground up. Because I don't have the plan. But see how, to me, right, this looks cool. This looks a billion times better than Tomorrowland. I know you're looking at it ×2 speed, but still. And the library just happens to be the only building we have in the Coruscant pieces that has a door. Alright, what else do we got here? How about the residents of Utapau? I mentioned this in the last one, the Paulans. The one that greeted Obi-Wan Kenobi in Revenge of the Sith. That I couldn't remember his name. Well, it's Tion Medon. Medon. Don't know how to pronounce it. So I'm going to say it's Tion Medon. It's probably not. So let me find him here and read about Tion Medon. And we're going to build two sides with city structures. So we just did one. And this is the other one. Eventually, when I get to it. I had to extend the floor out. And again, these long pieces are good for building, of course, longer areas or bigger areas. And sometimes bigger areas take up less space than smaller areas because you're using less pieces. Alright, Tion Medon, Port Administrator of Pao City. Pauan, species. 6 foot 9 inches, almost. Well, he's over 6.5 feet tall. Okay, he's a master, or he is master of Port Administration of Pao City on Utapau. The Magna Guards killed his committee members, and the Separatist leadership used his world as a temporary sanctuary. He's a descendant of Timon Medon, Medon, who unified Utapau. Like all Pauans, Tion prefers darkness to sunlight and raw meat to cooked. Oh, wait. Let's look at his clothes. I know you can't see it, right? But you can look him up. Tionmedon. You probably remember him from the movie. Wide belt. Supports bony frame. Well, these guys don't pull any punches, right? Or hold back any punches, right? They criticize... They talk about everybody's stuff. Wait till I get to that dancer from Jabba's palace. What they say about her. I think that's a slap in the actress's face. But we'll get to that when we do one of the Jabba's builds. His robe. Floor-length robes are a recent fashion. What? They're a recent fashion. And then it's his stick, right? Portmaster's walking stick. And then his skin, right? Gray furrowed skin from lack of light in the sinkholes. All right. Back here, I'm putting down one of Dex's diners. I figured Dex has a chain, right? He has a chain of restaurants. One's on Utapau. That's not canon. I was kidding. Could be. I want to know what kind of adventures that Obi-Wan and Dex had. I want to hear some of that story. All right, when I tried to put this, I was experimenting, and I decided to take this pillar. What is it? 11. Pillar 11, and let's substitute or use this in the corner for Grievous's pod or ship, whatever it was. Even though it's not big like it's supposed to be. You get the point. So in order to get it in there, we have to take all the blocks out and then put the trigger area back in and then put the blocks over or through it. Yeah, the Grand Inquisitor was a temple guard in the Jedi Temple, and he became the Grand Inquisitor, of course, but he was also a Pauan from Utapau, who looks like the brother from the Force users. You know, there was the brother and then there was the sister. So there's some weird things going on. What happened to Ahsoka? What's up with the owl? Did Ahsoka transcend into the Force? Did Ahsoka die? And it's blah 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 blah. I'm stumped, right? Because now I'm getting off topic. Because I'm done talking about Tion Medon, right? They don't give a lot. They talk more about the fashion on these characters than anybody else, right? Like to the left, and at page 204 of this book, the TIE Fighter pilot, his pants, energy shielded fabric. What? Whatever. So, the last episode of season 2 of Star Wars Rebels, I remember him saying, well, what happened to Ahsoka? Watch! After Vader's walking away, she is seen walking into the temple. And then there's a series of online cards that depict the story, but you have to put together the story. There's no words. You can get them. Just say Ahsoka story cards or something like that. And it's weird. And one of the things that people didn't talk about, one of the pictures, she looks like she's pregnant. She got fat in one of the pictures. Nobody said anything about that. I don't think it's coincidence. Maybe I was half asleep. I don't know. And maybe I was seeing things. But to me, it looked like one of the later pictures. She had a belly. But it was odd that people were saying that they didn't know what happened to Ahsoka. Was she dead? Well, she's clearly walking into the temple. What happened during that fight? She kicked Vader's butt, or she put a hurting on him. I would say that. I mean, she tore up his mask. You can clearly see that his mask was torn, and you can see Anakin through it. But what happened, I don't know. Speculation is that she becomes the daughter, the bird lady, even though she was killed by the brother. The daughter. I meant the sister. Not the seventh sister or the seventh son or whatever. Not the Inquisitors. I'm talking about the episode of the Clone Wars where they had the father, the son, or the father, the brother, and the sister, or the father, the son, and the daughter, whatever you want to call them. And she was supposedly like the embodiment of the light side, and the son was the embodiment of the dark side, and the father was the balance, and he was getting old and wanted Anakin to take his place to make sure that there was balance between the siblings. And the brother killed the sister. I can't remember now. It was... It set my mind for a spin. It was like a 3-parter, I think. I'll have to do an episode on that. I'll review or whatnot. Maybe. We'll see. Time permits. Right. We'll talk about it more in depth. But as far as Ahsoka, I don't know. It doesn't make sense that she would come back as the other girl, because she was dead. So what are they going to do? Are they going to incorporate that into Rebels? It is stated that Canon has a meeting with the Bendu. And the Bendu is some high force thing, right? And the Bendu was actually mentioned in the original script of Star Wars. And I know it's not the same thing, but that's where they got it from. They take a lot of the ideas that were scrapped and modify them and say, can we use this? And what can we do with it? Or they'll take this is what they do with Legends. You know, so you take it. Well, we don't want to throw this away. Can we use it? And if we can't use it, what elements can we use of it? Because the fans like it, and we can't do it word for word like Thrawn. You know, Grand Admiral Thrawn, they had to change the time period. But they're keeping his personality. They're keeping his species. They're keeping his look. Right? So it's all good. I'm happy. I mean, they're doing their best. Right? And I think they're doing successful. Let's see. There's another species of being on Utapau, and that is called the Utai. Utai or Utai. It's U-T-A-I. Okay. Yes, another planet that we have to do is Jakku. And we have to do, of course, for Jakku, it's not just Jakku, right? It's Nima Outpost. Isn't that what you guys want to see? Nima Outpost. Star Destroyer. Yes. But I'm not doing the entire Star Destroyer. You're nuts. What do you see on the Star Destroyer? Corridors and the bridge. So that's what we're going to do. The bridge and some corridors. I really don't want to do the engine room. I really don't want to do the bathrooms. If you've downloaded the Death Star one, there's a room in there that was going to be, and I didn't just not do it. I forgot. I was going to put toilets in it. Actually, I did put a bathroom in there, but I was going to put a bigger one. Actually, there is in the Trooper Barracks. But I was going to put a different one in there for like the, if you weren't a trooper going into the barracks, you know. See, this is coming out really, really nice. Even though it's too small for the scale. I'm actually not that concerned about it, just because this isn't the main part of the toy box. If I wanted to, what I would do is I would put a trigger area around the city. And when you walked in there, it would go to another toy box where I would have the city in detail. If that's what I was going to do. The reason I'm not doing that is because I don't have a close-up of what the city structure is supposed to look like. Only bits and pieces, you know, of organic looking buildings, which we really don't have. The Utai workers on Utapau. 4 feet average height. The humble and stocky Utai are workers in the sinkholes and caverns of their homeworld, Utapau. They are animal handlers and workers on various landing platforms. The Utai's prominent eyes give them keen night vision for seeing in the darkness of rock caverns. Long ago, only the Utai lived in Utapau's sinkholes. Later, they were joined by Pauans from the planet's surface. The Pauans and Utai work in harmony, while the primitive Amani settlers stay away from the advanced cities. Now, the Amani, I think I spoke about them in the last episode. They're, one of the Amani, his name was a Man in Jabba's palace. They're headhunters. Ugly headhunters. Ancient skills for the Utai. The Utai's traditional homes are in the crevices of the planet's sinkholes. Long ago, the Utai learned how to domesticate carnivorous flying dactylians by feeding them fresh meat. They also tamed the varactyl lizards that are used as transport on Utapau, and the Utai still serve as wranglers for the dragon mounts. That would be the thing that the obi-wan was riding. His name was Boga. Let's see. Utai's boots. Yes, his clothing. This is what his boots are called. Varactyl muck boots. Yes. Varactyl muck boots. And his hand, right? Their hands, right? Stubby four-fingered hand. Now, if I had a stubby four-fingered hand, I wouldn't want people to say, hey, he has a stubby four-fingered hand. I don't know. It's just like, I don't know. Like Unkar Plot. His flipper-like fins. Alright, let's see if Amanda Man should be in here. Right? He's not. And he was in Return of the Jedi. I wish I still had my West End Games source books. I mean, they went off on a tangent. Like Brea and Tanika, the twins, you see them in the Cantina, the two girls, right? With the beehive-ish braided hair, right? It said in this source book from the 90s that Brea and Tanika, the twins, had this history, right? Then they said the twins you seen in the movie, I'm not making this up, right? Were imposters, and they were not the actual Tanika sisters, or whatever their name was. Like, you went through all that, telling me who they were, what they looked like, and then the ones in the actual movie weren't them. Why? What? Now, I don't think that's canon anymore. I think they were actually the girls that Brea and Tanika, or whatever are they in? They're not in here either. So they're not in this encyclopedia. They're probably forgotten. A lot of the creatures from the Cantina are not in here. What was the Duros? Yeah, they don't have the species class, or the species in here by species. They only have names. So, how about Finger and Don? He was important, I believe, right? He's in there. Page 74. He's a Bith. He was the leader of the... That guy, right? Cad Bane is not in here because this is only movie characters, I believe. Ahsoka is mentioned, believe it or not, but she's not in here. I am curious, Tusken Raider. Does it give us any insight on the Tusken Raider? Tusken Raider. Trying to see what's going on here. Yeah, I'm just building these out right now. You have that one section where I put the thing that was going to resemble Grievous's ship. That's where the banking clan, or the separatists, the banking clan is one of the members. But the separatist members were having a meeting, and Grievous was telling them, "What about Jakku? Go to Mustafar and await something. Oh, await my new apprentice." Alright, what, yeah. There's a... What do you call it? It's like a, desk? Or a control center that the, separatists were behind, and Dooku was giving them their speech. And that's what I'm looking for. Something that looks like that control, that curved control console, desk, whatever. And I can't find one. I have to make one. And I think we're going to run out of time here right quick with Tusken Raiders. I just want to see what they... Does anybody know what they look like underneath their mask? Nope. Nobody knows. Nobody talks about it. I wonder if they're just like tall Jawas. I think that was a speculation once. Are they, like African tribes, there's tall members in particular tribes, and then there's short members in particular tribes, And I always wondered, well, was that the case with the Tusken Raiders and the Jawas? They just wore different clothes. I don't know if that's true. I just always wondered if that was the case. So see how that's curved right there? I thought I could use that. But as far as what else is in that room, we have to ad-lib, because I can't find any pictures stating what is in that room besides chairs. I actually thought maybe I could use the stadium pieces, and that just looks stupid. Yeah, I'm going through all these pieces right here. And I'm like, I have no idea what I'm looking for. I even actually go into the interior. I cut that out because I save it. You'll see it where I save it. And then I decide not even to use it, so I just reload to the save point. So I don't even show myself going into the interior because I didn't use it. So we take this, and I try to make this long, so maybe, you know, the separatists are behind this, right? And it looks stupid. I wish they allowed Obi-Wan to jump over someone's head while doing that flip. Yeah, this is where I put the door down. I was going to go in the interior. I saved it before going in. And then I decided not to, so I just loaded it from the save. So let's go back down. And we're gonna start making it. Yeah, we just delete these eventually. We're gonna start making the console, or his podium, whatever. But we're gonna continue that in the next episode. So you'll see us put it down with simple toys. I don't know why we're in sports toys right there. I think we're just still looking, right? I have no clue why I'm doing what I'm doing. Yeah, it's simple toys, just making a curve, which is the table. Any day. I think I was trying to figure out, because when I put the blocks down, we're going to have to actually, see, right to the stadium. Was that where they're sitting? No. Well, we have to make the table the right height, so we're gonna have to use a path creator to sink it down into the ground. But this is as far we get the outline here, and then I ran out of time. So the next episode will finish this part. So I think I get as far as coloring this black steel. And then we definitely do have to go back into the interior anyway in the next episode. And we get some chairs. So right now that's too big, right? It's too tall. We got to sink that in. So it's the height of an actual table. Yep. Yeah, so all the separatists sat behind there, and Grievous was instructed by Sidious to go to Mustafar. He told them all to go to Mustafar, and then he ended up getting killed by Obi-Wan Kenobi. So all the separatists are on Mustafar waiting for... So funny, right? Because they had no idea. They knew who Anakin Skywalker was. They had no idea what was going on. But they knew Anakin was a Republic hero, a Jedi. They were surprised. All right. I think did I extend this out again? Nope. I'm going to save it here, and then next episode we'll continue on. Yeah, see, we're going down. Okay, I do place them there, but I don't... Do I do the connections? Or am I setting the speed? Well, anyway, guys and gals, next episode we'll finish this out. So, like, comment, subscribe, visit me on Facebook and Twitter. Thanks everyone for watching. If you enjoyed what you saw, smash that like button. And guess what? There's even more. Click on any of these boxes to view more awesome stuff. And don't forget to click that big subscribe button so you can be notified of all my upcoming videos. And again, I want to thank you for watching. This has been That Brown Bat signing off. CIAO.